First call at 145 then.
At $980,000.
$1,880,000. Round me up to 1.9.
The Australian dream. There's nothing wrong with these auctions or the people at them. But lax standards around money laundering have put our real estate and economy at risk and might be inflating our housing market.
Now, if you're a prospective buyer and you get outbid by someone with a bag of cash, that's pretty suspicious and arguably increasing the price for everyone.
Real estate professionals, along with lawyers, accountants and gem dealers, aren't subject to anti-money laundering and counter-terrorism financing laws and don't have to report suspicious transactions. It's easier to launder money through property here than in our neighbours like New Zealand. Financial crimes agency Austrac estimates about $1 billion in suspicious money from China was invested in Australian real estate in a single year.
The flow of funds and the volume of those funds, I think, just needs further scrutiny.
At this week's National Integrity Summit, regulators and experts were united in their desire to see Australia pass so-called Tranche 2 laws that will bring these professions in line with the requirements of other roles at high risk of being used for money laundering.
For those professions at the moment, there's very weak customer due diligence, and if a real estate agent, for example, sees a suspicious transaction, they're not required to report it to the authorities.
But it's also those other advisors, accountants, and also the role that the legal fraternity play. It requires, better scrutiny.
Criminals make billions of dollars a year and they'll do anything to launder it and store it. Recent problems at our local casinos show the extent of the issue, and experts say our real estate sector is vulnerable. Expanding the anti-money laundering regime would bring us in line with other similar economies and help our allies take on organised crime.
In the UK's interest to see this legislation in Australia, by the same token of it being in Australia's interest to have this legislation in the UK, we can share our intelligence between our law enforcement agencies.
But the push is being resisted by the real estate industry and has been for more than a decade.
We want to catch money launderers if they're using real estate as a vehicle for their nefarious activity, but we don't want to see unnecessary regulatory burden on real estate practitioners.
A reading of the Code of Conduct.
The peak body argues that real estate agents are predominantly small business people and shouldn't be forced to do the job of banks. In New Zealand, it estimates agents are paying between $30,000 and $60,000 annually in compliance costs.
And there's no definitive proof that that regulatory environment in New Zealand is helping catch money launderers.
Australia is, with the US and China, one of just a handful of nations that haven't enacted the Tranche 2 laws.
Globally, Australia's money laundering laws rank alongside Haiti and Madagascar. However, the government has committed to implement Tranche 2 reforms in the coming months.
The Attorney General's Department has recently completed a process of consulting with industry. Soon we'll see the result.
Money transcends borders, and that's absolutely key. And so the ability for our international law enforcement to be able to work more closely together is imperative.
As the fight against money laundering heads to the suburbs.